you to think about your life. And here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about an area in your life in which you've really been wanting to move forward. And maybe you've been wanting to move forward and write the book. Maybe you've been wanting to move forward and start the business. Maybe you've been wanting to move forward and take an act of faith and maybe go back and register and perhaps even get another degree. Maybe you've been wanting to move forward on this gift, this skill, this talent that you have. And for some reason, one reason or another, you just haven't moved forward. But let me tell you something. Here's what I've come to realize, and I want you to write this down. Here's what I've come to realize. The challenge is not in moving forward. No, that's not where the challenge is. You see, the challenge is in what you need to leave behind. I'm going to say that one more time. You see, the challenge is not in moving forward. The challenge is in what you need to leave behind. And you see, realize this, most of us aren't able to move forward because we're holding on to some things, and there's some things that we don't want to leave behind. And you see, understand this, that you can't get to that next place in your life if you keep holding on to those old thoughts, those old habits. You can't get to that next relationship if you're holding on to the pain of the last relationship. You can't get to this new place in your business if you're holding on to the same old tactics that you used 2-3 years ago that have proven that they're no longer producing the kind of results that you want. You see, you can't move on and move forward and finally fulfill your destiny and the calling on your life if you keep holding on to the same old limited habits and beliefs. And so here's what I know. The challenge, the true challenge, is not in moving forward. No, that's not where the challenge is. You see, the challenge ultimately, the true challenge, is ultimately in what you have to leave behind. And so I want you to think about that area in your life in which you've been wanting to really move forward, that area in your life in which you want to experience a breakthrough. You want to go to the next level. And then I want you to think about, what is it that possibly is holding you behind? What is it? Is it the limited belief? Is it something that happened to you a couple of years ago? Is it because you've convinced yourself that you're not ready, that you don't have the skill set, that you're not capable? I mean, what is it ultimately that you haven't been willing to ultimately leave behind? And so what I'm telling you is there's going to have to be a shift in your thinking. You see, Albert Einstein, here's what he said. He said, the thinking that has gotten me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. I'm going to say that one more time. He said that the thinking that has gotten me this far has created some problems that this thinking cannot solve. And so realize this, that your next level is going to require some next level thinking. Your next level, the next thing that you're looking to produce in your life is going to require you ultimately to leave some things behind, to leave some stinking thinking behind, to leave some negative habits behind, to leave your safety zone, to really leave your comfort zone. And so when I'm telling you this, because I'm really sharing from experience, you know, probably the biggest change in my life and something that really completely changed the course of my life is when I finally made the decision back in 2004 to leave my career in corporate America. At the time, I was working for an amazing accounting firm by the name of PricewaterhouseCoopers. As a matter of fact, one of the largest professional service firms in the world, extremely reputable company, amazing company. And let me tell you something. While I was working there, there was a part of me that wanted to take a chance on myself. There's a part of me that was ready to move forward. You see, I was ready to become an entrepreneur. I was ready to take a risk on myself. I was ready to try to figure out what my passion was. I was ready to take my life ultimately to another level. But here's what I could also tell you. Here's what I could tell you. There's some things that I didn't want to quite leave behind. And you see, even though I wanted to move forward, ultimately, it was difficult for me to move forward. Why? Because there are so many things that I was holding on to. And I tell you what some of those things were. You see, I was holding on to that paycheck that was hitting my bank account every 2 weeks. Let me tell you, you can get really comfortable with getting a paycheck that's hitting your bank account every 2 weeks. And nobody wants to leave that for uncertainty. You see, there's some things that I was holding on to. I was holding on to the fact that I had spent all this time in getting my undergraduate's degree and also getting my master's degree. So these were all things that I was holding on to. You see, I was holding on to this, what I believe to be really my comfort zone. You see, because I had put in all this time getting my undergraduate's degree, all this time getting my master's degree, and here I was working for this amazing accounting firm. I also had studied like crazy for the CPA exam. And so here I am. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to move forward. But ultimately, that's not what the challenge was. Let me tell you, making the decision that I wanted to move forward was not that difficult of a decision. The difficult challenge was what I had to leave behind. And so ultimately was I ready to leave those things behind? And so I want you to think about an area in your life in which you've been wanting to move forward, an area in your life in which you've been wanting to take that next step. Now, I don't know what it is for you. Maybe perhaps you've been sitting and thinking about this business idea, or maybe you've been wanting to write this book, or maybe perhaps you've been thinking about going back to school and getting another degree, or maybe you know that you've been sitting on this gift, this skill, this talent that you have, and you want to push forward. But what I would remind you is the challenge is not in moving forward. No. The ultimate challenge is going to be in whether or not you're prepared to leave some things behind. And so that's what I want to ask you right now. What are you ready to leave behind in pursuit of your goals and your dreams? What are you ready to leave behind with all the things that you're attempting to do right now in your life? I'm asking you, what are you ready to leave behind? And so I want you to think about that as I share the rest of this message. Let me tell you something. If this message is resonating with you and you're tuning in right now on the live stream, what I want you to do is make sure that you share the link, that you share this with people, because I want to make sure as many people as possible are getting this message. And so once again, here's what I will remind you. The challenge is not in moving forward. Ultimately, the challenge is truly in what are you willing to ultimately leave behind? And so, one of the crazy things is, I've been literally sending one of my friends all of these amazing congratulation messages via social media. And the reason why I keep congratulating her is because she recently graduated from dental school. And some of you know that I've been bringing this up, and I'm so very proud of her. But let me tell you what I'm really proud of. It's not just the fact that she's graduating from dental school. What I am really, truly proud of is really ultimately of what I know that she had to leave behind. You see, most people have just come into her journey. See, most people are witnessing right now that she's graduating from dental school. But see, I know exactly what it is that she's leaving behind. You say, well, Andy, how do you know that? Well, we went to school. We both went to school at Florida State University. You see, we both majored in accounting. You see, we both got our master's degree. We both studied like crazy for our CPA exam. And so we both end up working for PricewaterhouseCoopers. And so we had all these things in common. But here's the crazy thing is, she's working for this amazing accounting firm. She spent all this time getting her undergraduate degree and her master's degree and landing this job with this amazing company. And here's what you're not going to believe. You're not going to believe this. But at some point, here's what she decided to make the decision. She literally made the decision that, you know what? She said to herself, I don't want to be an accountant. Even though I spent all this time getting my undergraduate degree, I got my master's degree, I'm working for this amazing accounting firm, I don't want to be an accountant. That's what she said to herself. She said, you know what? I want to be a dentist. Now, here's what I can tell you. There's a lot of people right now who are working a career, and maybe perhaps you're one of them, that you're working a career or you're in a particular field and you know in your heart that there's something else that you want to move forward on. There's something else that you want to do. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to make a different career change, but you know in your heart that there's something else that you want to do. But realize this, that most people will be fully aware that there's something else that they want to do, and they will spend the next 10, 20, 30 years of their life having not moved forward, having not taken any type of action. And so it'll just be an afterthought. It would just be something that they think about when they're laying down in their bed. But majority of people would not have the gumption. The majority of people would not have the courage to move forward on their goals and their dreams. They just won't have the courage to do that. But let me tell you something. Here's what the amazing thing is. My friend, here's what she made the decision. She understands that, the difficult thing is not moving forward. The difficult thing is what you're willing to leave behind. And so ultimately, she made the decision that she was going to leave her career behind. She made the decision that she was going to leave that accounting degree behind. She made the decision that she was going to leave that CPA license behind. And ultimately, she made the decision that it was worth leaving those things behind to move forward on becoming a dentist. And let me tell you something, that is not an easy thing to do. You see, most of us, we have the desire, we truly do, to move forward. However, we don't have the courage. Ambrose Redmoon said that courage is not the absence of fear, but courage is the judgment that the thing that you want is greater than the fear. You see, most of us don't have the courage to leave behind the old thinking. Most of us don't have the courage to leave behind our old habits. Most of us don't have the courage to say goodbye to that toxic relationship. Most of us don't have the courage to go ahead and leave behind our old spending habits so we could become debt free. You see, most of us don't have the courage to leave behind the things that we need to leave behind so that we can move forward on the things that we truly want to move forward on. So I'm going to ask you the question again. You see, most people, if they were delivering this message to you, they would ask you, what are you ready to move forward on? But that's not what I'm going to ask you, because ultimately I think that moving forward is not what's difficult. The real difficult thing is, what are you willing to leave behind? And so my question for you right now is, what are you willing to leave behind to get to the next level in your life? What are you ready to leave behind so that you can start the business or take it to the next level? What are you ready to leave behind so that you can finally generate the kind of income that you want? What are you willing to leave behind? That's the real question. And that's the question that only you can answer for yourself. And so I want you to think about whatever area that is in your life that you're ready to move forward. And I want you to also think about, what is it that you're holding on so tightly to? I mean, you're holding on so tight. And I want to challenge you, and I want to push you to stop holding on to those things so that you can get to the next level. You see, most of us, I remember being a kid. If you remember being a kid, and maybe some of you are still doing this as adults. I know sometimes I do. If I go by the park and I see a set of monkey bars, you remember how the monkey bars are? You would grab one bar, and then afterwards you'd have to let go of that one bar to grab the next one. But let me help you to understand something. You know what? Something funny happens on the monkey bars. You see, you can only move forward once you're willing to release the hand that's behind you. And so here's what I need you to understand, that some of you are wanting to move forward, but you have a hand that's holding on to something behind you. And so what I'm saying to you is, now is the time to let go, especially if you've made the decision that you want to move forward. And so many of us are holding on to our comfort zone. You see, Brian Tracy said that your comfort zone is your danger zone. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump said that your comfort zone is in direct opposition of your greater self. Your greater self is somewhere up here, and your comfort zone is down here. And as long as you're holding on to your comfort zone, you cannot get to the next level. And so remember this, moving forward is not what the difficult thing is. No, that's not what's difficult. The difficult thing is what it is that you have to leave behind. And so I want you to think about these things that you're holding on to. Are they important enough that for you to sacrifice and to forfeit all the things that you could be moving forward on in your life? And I want you to think about, what is it that you want to move forward is? What does the next level of your life look like? What does it look like to you? I mean, what does that look like? Is it a new business? Is it a book? Is it a new career path? Is it another degree? Is it a happy, healthy relationship? Is it marriage? I mean, what does the next level look like? What is it you're looking to move forward to? And what I want to remind you is this, and I need you to understand this. I need you to understand this, that you cannot move forward until you're ready to leave those things behind. And I want to remind you that the difficulty is not in moving forward. I believe that if I had the opportunity right now to ask all of you the question, do you want to move forward? Do you want to move forward in your life? Do you want to move forward in your finances? Do you want to move forward in your relationships? Do you want to move forward in your health? Do you want to move forward when it comes to your goals and your dreams and this thing that you know that you've been called to do? Do you want to move forward? I think it's safe to say that the majority of you say that yes, I want to move forward. Yes, I'm ready to take my life to the next level. But see, here's what the difficult thing is. If the answer is yes, then why is it that most of us don't move forward? Why is it that most of us are simply talking about what it is that we want to do? We're talking about our goals and our dreams. We're talking about going to the next level. We're talking about building a business. We're talking about all the things that we want to do, but we're not willing to move forward. Well, I'll tell you what it is. What it is the challenging thing is there's some things that we don't want to leave behind. And so only you know what that is. It may be a limited belief system. It may be some fear that you're holding on to. Maybe it's something that somebody told you in the past. Maybe you've convinced yourself because you had a very difficult experience in the past, a failure, a disappointment, and you're still looking through your rear view mirror and understanding this, that you can't move forward in your life if you're going to just keep looking through that rear view mirror. And so understand this, that you literally cannot move forward until you get to that place in your life that you're ready to literally leave those things behind. And so I'll never forget this. One day my brother called me And he was so excited. He said, listen, man, he said, Andy, I was in today. I was at the office and my boss called me into the office and he said, listen, he offered me a promotion, an amazing promotion. I'm going to make more income. I'm going to have more responsibility. You know, not only that, but this is going to be one of those moves that I've been waiting on so I could get to the next level in my career. And he said, but Andy, man, let me tell you something. As exciting as this is, you know what? I'm having some issues. And I said, well, Ralph, well, what's the issue? I don't get it. I mean, you're going to get a promotion. They're going to start paying you more income. You're going to have more responsibility. It's going to put you on the fast track in your career. I mean, help me to understand what's the issue. And this is in all, listen, I know this may be difficult for you to believe, but my brother's issue was that this new responsibility, this new job was going to require him to make it into the office very early in the morning. Where you say, well, Andy, I don't get it. I don't understand. Well, what's the issue with him getting in very early in the morning? Well, see here, understand this. My brother is a phenomenal programmer and an extremely hard worker. But my brother, many years ago, he developed a very bad habit of going to sleep very, very late. And because of the fact that he goes to sleep very late, he also wakes up very late. And the way it is right now, because he's still willing to stay in the office later than everybody else, because he's willing to work over the weekends, it has always been acceptable that he not come into the office at traditional time in the office at 8 o'clock, that he can actually come into the office a little later on in the morning. And so the issue is, if he took the promotion, he could no longer come into work later on in the morning. No, you see, he would have to come in very early in the morning because now he would be the supervisor. He would be the boss. We say, well, Andy, why was that so difficult? Well, listen, would you ever believe, and this may be difficult for you to believe, but my brother literally passed on the promotion. Why? Not because he didn't want to move forward. Listen, he wanted to move forward. He wanted that promotion. He wanted to get to the next level. The reason why he did not take the promotion is the challenging part for him was what he was going to have to leave behind. And you see, he was going to have to leave behind this habit that he's developed, this habit that he's had now for probably well over like 2 decades, you know, from years ago when he used to work in the movie theater and, you know, work as a supervisor in the movie theater. He developed some really bad sleeping habits, going to sleep at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And so my brother was not willing to leave that habit behind. Now, you might think to yourself, you know what, that's silly. Are you kidding me, Andy? He passed on a promotion, not because he didn't want the promotion, but because he wasn't willing to leave those things behind. I say absolutely. But here's what I want you to do. Instead of looking at that, I want you to think about your own life. And I want you to think about where is it in your life that maybe you have an opportunity to move forward. And there's something that you don't want to let go of, something that maybe somebody on the outside would say, you know what, that's absolutely silly, but you've been holding on to it. And because of that, it's not allowing you to move forward. And so what is it that you're holding on to? I mean, is it a past failure, a past disappointment? I mean, what is it that you're really holding on to? Is it something that somebody told you many years ago? They told you that you'd never make it. They told you that things would never work out for you. I mean, what is it that you're holding on to? I mean, is it some kind of bad habit? Are you holding on to your comfort zone? I mean, what is it that you are holding on to? And I would venture to tell you that the real challenge is not in moving forward, but the challenge ultimately is going to be in you being willing to leave that thing behind. And so I want to challenge you right now to leave that thing behind. I want to challenge you to let go of that thing and move forward. You see, that's what Paul said when he said, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are before. Listen to that. Forgetting those things which are behind. Forgetting those things which are behind. You see, there's some things that you've got to let go of so that you can move forward and push towards the mark, whatever that mark is for you. And so I need you to understand that there's some things that you need to let go of. And so I don't know what that thing is for you. So really, I want to ask you a couple questions, and I want you to be a little reflective here because I want to help you to push forward, especially if you've been feeling a little stuck. You've been feeling as if, you know, you have this desire and this willingness to move forward, but it just hasn't been a reality for you. You just haven't been able to get to that next level. I want to challenge you, and I really want to help you to get there. And so the first question that I have for you is, I want you to think about an area in your life in which you're willing and you're ready to move forward. I mean, you're ready to move forward. I mean, are you ready to move forward in your finances? Are you ready to move forward in your relationship? Are you ready to move forward perhaps with your goals and your dreams? Are you ready to move forward with this gift that you have? Are you ready to move forward on your calling? Whatever it is for you, what are you ready to move forward on? I mean, there's probably something that you're ready to move forward on. Now, I would ask you the other question. The second question is, are you ready to move forward? And you know what? I'm going to venture to say that if someone asks you, are you ready to move forward? Yeah, you may have some fears and so forth, but for the most part, you have a desire, you have a true willingness to move forward. I mean, you really, truly want to move forward. The desire is there for you to move forward. Now, once you've identified what that area is that you want to move forward, now I want you to think about for a moment, what is it that you've been having a challenge of letting go? Because here's what I want to remind you. The challenge is not in moving forward. The challenge is in what you need to leave behind. And so I want you to think about this area in your life that you want to move forward. And now I want you to think about, what is it that you need to leave behind? What is it that you need to leave behind? Some of you need to leave behind some very toxic relationships. I mean, you've got some people who are right now, they're in your cell phone and you give them a call, you talk to them, and listen, you can't get to the next level until you're ready to leave them behind. I know you've known them for a long time, but listen, some people are in your life for a season, some people for a reason, and some people for eternity. But let me tell you right now, there are some people that you need to let go. You can't get to that next level until you're ready to literally leave them behind. And maybe, what is it for you? Maybe it's a habit. My brother had this habit of going to sleep very late that he wasn't ready to leave behind. What's your habit that you need to leave behind? I mean, have you been procrastinating? Or are you a kind of person that you don't finish what you start? I mean, you start things, but you just can't seem to finish. Listen, what's this thing that you really need to leave behind? Because understand this, you cannot move forward until you're willing to leave it behind. Or maybe perhaps it's some type of limiting belief, something that you've convinced yourself that you're not enough. You've convinced yourself that you don't have the right initials behind your name. You've convinced yourself that you don't have the right degrees. You've convinced yourself that you don't have the resources. And let me be the first one to tell you that you are enough. Everything that you need right now, you have it. And so really, you have to let go. You have to be willing to let go of those limited beliefs and be willing to push forward, because it's really, truly the only way that you're going to get to the next level. And so once you've identified and you've come to the realization that you are ready to move forward, and you have literally identified what it is that you've been holding on to that has kept you from moving forward. Now, let me just be honest with you. You just got a decision to make, my friend. There is a decision for you to make. And the decision that I need you to make is what it is that you're pursuing, what it is that you're going after, what it is that you're looking to move forward. Is that thing more important than the thing that you're holding on to? And so only you can answer that decision. So I need you to think about that question. Whatever it is that you're pursuing right now, to get your business to the next level, to take your health to the next level, to have a more fulfilling relationship, to fulfill the calling in your life, to be able to realize your dreams and all these things that you want, to finally be able to live out your making instead of going through life and simply just trying to make a living. What I'm saying to you is, if you've made the decision that thing is important enough for you to pursue, I need you to also make the decision right now if you're willing to leave behind whatever it is that's holding you back. Why? Because I told you this before, and I'll tell you again. The challenge is not in moving forward. No, that's not where the challenge is, folks. The challenge is in what it is that you need to leave behind. And so you have a decision to make. If you're ready to move forward, if you're ready to take your life to the next level, if you're ready to make some extraordinary things happen, I'm going to challenge you right now. I'm truly going to challenge you in this moment right now. As you're listening to me right now, I'm going to challenge you to think about what it is that is holding you back, what it is that you've had difficulty with letting go of, your comfort zone, letting go of some past failures and disappointments, letting go of maybe some toxic relationships. What is it that you have to literally let go of? And I'm going to ask you right now to make the decision. Is what it is that you're pursuing more important than what it is that you've been fearful of letting go of? And if you come up to the decision, and if you come to the final conclusion that what it is that you want to pursue, that what it is that you are going to pursue, or what it is that you've been wanting to move on is more important than whatever it is that you've been holding on to, then I'm going to challenge you right now to make the decision to go ahead and move forward. And I know that you have the ability to do this. And there's absolutely no coincidences here that you're listening to this message, that this is your time. This is the opportunity right now for you to move forward. This is your opportunity right now to take your life to the next level. And so I know that maybe you've been feeling stuck. Maybe you haven't been able to push forward. Maybe you haven't been able to do the things that you want to do. But this truly is, in fact, your time. And so I want to invite you. I want to invite you to move forward. And I want to tell you one last time that the challenge ultimately is not, it is not in moving forward. No, the challenge ultimately is this. What is the challenge, Andy? The challenge is in what it is that you're willing to leave behind. And so I'm going to challenge you in this moment to leave those things behind and start pushing forward and pursuing your goals and your dreams and making this thing happen. And of course, as you all know that we are live streaming here, I'm extremely excited. And of course, first of all, this wouldn't be Andy Henriquez if I didn't end by telling you this. Show up for your lives, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't, nobody else will. Now, here's what I want to do. Of course, Lewis is going to open up the lines for those who are on the conference call. But here's what I want to do for those of you who are listening in right now, live stream. I want to continue this conversation. And I also want to direct everybody in where you can leave your comments and your feedback if you've enjoyed tonight's live stream message, tonight's Show Up for Your Life message. So for those of you who are with us live stream right now, who are joining in, those of you who are also on the conference call line, you can leave your comments and your feedback in our private group. And so you're asking, well, how do you get to our private group? Well, here's how you do this. You're going to go to showupgroup.com. showupgroup.com. If you simply go to showupgroup.com, that's going to direct you to our private Facebook group, and it's there that you can go ahead and request the invitation to join our private Facebook group. And of course, we'll be more than happy to welcome you to our Facebook group. And of course, we'll be able to exchange some dialogue. I'd love to hear your comments and your feedback from this message that you just received. And of course, not just that, but I also want to extend to all of you a very special invitation. If you haven't already done so, I want to extend to you a very special invitation to join the Show Up for Your Life motivational movement. If you haven't already done that, you are going to go to showupforyourlife.com. That is a free website. When you get there, you're going to put in your name, and you're also going to put in your email address. And when you put in your name and email address, that's going to allow me to send you an instant motivational message. That's going to allow me to stay connected with you and continue to provide you with resources, content, also more messages and videos that is really, truly going to allow you to show up for your life in your personal life as well as in your business. So if you haven't already done so, make sure you visit me at showupforyourlife.com, put in your name and email address. That's going to allow us to stay connected. Now, also, I want to extend another invitation for all of you. As many of you know, we have the Show Up for Your Life motivational movement, and literally we have people who have joined this movement all across the United States and also in other countries, but we are doing something special. We have the Show Up 2015 event, and I want to extend a personal invitation for you to join me in beautiful, sunny California on July 10th and 11th for this life-changing transformational event. And so if you're at a place in your life where you know that there's been a point in your life where maybe you've been at that place where you've been wanting to sort of move forward and you've been feeling a little stuck, this is the place that you want to be. You want to be here at this event because we're going to provide you with the tools and strategies to help you to get unstuck. Or maybe, finances have been a little bit of a pinch for you. You've been wanting to have, additional income, and you've been finding that things are a little tight. Well, listen, we're going to talk to you about how to create multiple streams of income, how to create additional streams of income. You put some more money into your pocket and be able to handle the unforeseen things that life tends to throw at us. And if you're one of those people, then listen, you definitely want to be there at this event. And listen, if you're running a business right now, you're just trying to take your business to the next level, you're trying to scale and bring up your sales. Well, listen, we're going to have one of the leading sales strategists. She has literally gone all across the country, has trained people specifically in sales, and she's going to be sharing, whether you believe it or not, you are in sales. She's going to be sharing some amazing sales strategies and techniques to help you to take your life to the next level. And so for those of you who are going to be joining us in beautiful California, I want to tell you how to do that. You're going to go to www.showup2015.com. Once again, that is showup2015.com. You'll be able to get more information about the Show Up for Your Life live event on the West Coast, okay? And you'll also be able to register and make sure that you are in the place. You're going to join us. We're going to have a wonderful time. There's going to be a meet and greet on that Thursday. Everybody's going to be coming in. We're going to have an opportunity to meet. I'm going to have an opportunity to meet you. We're going to talk one-on-one, meet some of the other people who are part Friday, you're going to have some amazing speakers delivering transformational content, really kind of content that has the ability to really change your life. And of course, the following day, that Saturday, we're going to have our VIP session in the morning. And then a little later on in the afternoon, we're going to have our wrap-up session before everybody sort of leads on back. Now, I know there are so many of you who are also listening. On top of you who are watching this live stream, there are many of you who are listening in right now via the conference call line. And so, of course, I want to do like we normally do. I want to open up the lines for the people who are there on the conference call line. We're going to have a little dialogue and a little interaction. So we have our conference call host right now. Lewis, you can go ahead and open up the lines, Lewis, so we can go ahead and get some of the questions from many of the people who are listening in on the conference call line. And maybe perhaps what I'll do for those of you who are here live stream, I'll repeat some of the questions that are being asked so you have an opportunity to hear some of those questions. But don't forget too, you can also post your questions in your comments in showupgroup.com. That's our private Facebook group. Showupgroup.com will take you there directly, and you can go ahead and post your comments. You can post your questions. You can post your feedback if you've gotten value from this message that you're listening to right now. And so, Lewis, hopefully you can hear me. I'm multitasking here. I've got the live stream going on. I've got this earpiece in my ear. That's for the people who are listening in on the conference call line. And so, of course, we're going to unmute the lines. Lewis is doing that right now. We're going to allow people to give their comments and their feedback. But let me also remind you, for those of you who are here live streaming, I want to continue this conversation with you. And we can do that online in our private Facebook group. And you can get there by going to showupgroup.com. And so, Lewis, I'm here. Go ahead and open up the lines. I thank you for opening up the lines. And of course, for those of you who have questions who are on the live conference call, you can go ahead and press *6 to unmute your line. And I'll be more than happy to hear your feedback or go ahead and take in your questions. So excellent. So Lewis is opening up the conference call line right now for those of you who are watching right now live stream. And we're going to take in, as we customarily do, we're going to take in live calls right now live for people who are listening in live on the conference call line. Give them an opportunity to ask a couple questions or give their feedback or their comments. But also remember that you can leave your comments and your feedback in the Show Up group, showupgroup.com, which is our private Facebook group. So as Lewis said, the conference call lines are open. Just go ahead and press *6 to unmute your line.
Awesome. That's all talk at once. Press *6 to unmute yourself.
So I just put my phone on speakerphone. So for those of you on the conference call line, as you ask the questions, the folks that are sort of listening in via live stream, they'll be able to hear you out. I do know that we have, the majority of everybody right now is listening in on the conference call line, but we do have quite a few of you who are listening in during the live stream, our very first time rolling this out. But go ahead, we are going to stay true to form, and I will be taking live questions. So for those of you on the conference call line, just go ahead and press *6 to unmute your line, and go ahead and leave your comments and your feedback.
Brian, sweetheart, hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I just want to thank you guys again for tonight's call. This is my second week on the call. I was invited by Mr. Jermaine Thomas up in Fort Pierce. I received something new with every piece of conversation, inspirational speech that I receive, that I listen to. No matter if it's the same message over and over, something new that I feel you can receive by tapping in equal to the calls such as this one. The only way that you can ensure yourself to maintain a level of motivation that will push you in life and ensure that you attain the goals that you aspire to attain. And I just want to thank you guys once more for doing what you do, putting together this platform to help out so many individuals achieve success in life. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night.
And well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for chiming in and leaving your comment. And here's what I'm also going to do for those of you who are sort of coming in because I know it's creating it's a little bit of a lag because some of you are watching live stream and some of you are sort of talking to us also via the conference call line. But here's what I'm also going to do. I am running a split screen right now, and so I'm going to give a shout out to some of you who are posting your comments in the Show Up group. And so once again, for those of you who are joining us, so of course I want to welcome a couple of you who are joining us right now in our private group. So Bobby, welcome to the group. Sain, welcome to the showupgroup.com. Toya, welcome to the group. Rio, welcome to the group. Sherry Marshall, we see Sherry said that tonight was a fantastic topic. She said she's realized after seeing opportunities and money left on the table that I've had to leave my shyness behind. And so, you know, whether it's shyness or whatever it is, all of us get to that place at one point or another where there's some things that we absolutely have to leave behind. So Sherry, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for leaving your comment and your feedback in the Show Up group. Brian just left his comment and his feedback in the Show Up group. Brian said, leaving behind my inactive business partners that I've been trying to pull along. Woo, boy, don't we know that, right? Some of you are trying to grow your business and you've been trying to pull along some people that you really need to leave behind. Why? Because listen, those people are seriously not serious. And so you've come to the point now where you've got to leave them behind. And so Brian just said, listen, I've got some business partners that are not serious that I really need to leave behind. And so I know there's some of you right now, you probably got something, you're trying to get to that next level. And listen, there's probably something that you or some individuals that you really truly need to leave behind. And so identify who those individuals are and leave them behind. We have Jermaine Thomas from South Florida, actually down in Fort Pierce, Florida, said, letting go of not finishing strong, right? Because many of us, listen, it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. Many of us have the ability to start, but we struggle in the area of finishing. And so the key is to finish strong. And so Jermaine, listen, I can tell you this, you are not the only person that struggles in the area of finishing strong. It's one of the things that we say all the time. It's not how you start, but it's absolutely how you finish. And so we have to be willing to dig deep to keep the main thing, to maintain, to stay focused so that ultimately we can, in fact, finish strong. And so, Jermaine, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for posting your comment. Of course, we have Richard, who is all the way out in the Dominican Republic, says, are you ready to leave some things behind? And Richard, yes, indeed, we are. Donald, we have you also. Of course, I want to welcome everybody who is making their comments and their feedback. But Louis, we'll go ahead and take another live caller. We are trying something new, so I want you guys to bear with us. We got a lot of technical things going on at one time. We have the live stream going on. We have the live conference call going on. We have many of you that are leaving your comments and your feedback in the group. Bobby said, I was just talking about this today. It's confirmation. Shanta in the Show Up group put, thank you so much for tonight's motivation. You pour into the lives of so many people every single week. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is the reason why I do it, is really hearing all your comments and your feedback. So I do have you all on speakerphone, and so hopefully you can still hear me loud and clear. Louis, we'll go ahead and take another live comment, another live question and feedback. Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, how you doing, guys? What's up, Mr. Lewis? How you doing, Andy?
Good, good. We're doing excellent. How you doing?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right for the shape word. I'll tell you, this is right on time right here. I like y'all. You're always right on time with your messages. You know, it's one of those things. Okay, like you know how you said the challenge is letting it go. You know what we do need to let go. And I think a lot of times, I'm gonna speak for myself, and I believe a lot of others out there, that we do have this special spot for some things, some people, or some things that you seem like you just think that you can go around it. You know, for so many years, you know, you try to hold on to, let's just say, relationships. You know, and no matter how much, you know, the inevitable always ends up being that word. You got to let it go. And, you know, I believe for me, I'm everything you're talking right now. Every last little bit of it, I'd be lying to myself if I said I wasn't. I'm good at starting things. I have a lot of trouble finishing. I have a lot of trouble focusing on things. You know, I get a lot of things that go through my mind at one time. You know, you get creative, you get those points, and then you forget your own message
to bring it back home. You know, so
absolutely.
yeah, I love this. I love this live entertainment. I'll tell you, I told my fiance today. I said, I swear to goodness, he is in my back pocket. I was looking around my shoulders. This is something I'm looking into to do. And you just you paved the way for a lot of us out there. And I want to let you know that you've given me a lot of hope. And thank you, and Mr. Moore. You too. Mad props to you, sir.
All right, Donald. Well, Donna, I appreciate you, man. Listen, I know that there's a lot of people who are sort of, maybe they had difficulty sort of hearing because I got you on speaker, but I can tell you this, that I know for a lot of people that there is absolutely a challenge with actually finishing, right? So most of us have the capacity to start strong, but we don't move forward, or we just can't finish. Or most of us, we just don't act so that we can't finish. You know, there's something I love to share with Jim Rohn, who is probably one of the greatest thought leaders and motivational speakers. He has passed away, unfortunately. But one of the things that Jim Rohn shared is something called the law of diminishing intent. And so basically, it's like when you intend to do something, like you intend to write the book, you intend to start the business, you intend to move forward, you intend to lose the weight, to go to the gym, whatever it is that you intend to do, the longer that you take to actually act on whatever it is that you intend to do, the greater the likelihood that it just won't happen. And so it's very important. I mean, it is crucial. It is very crucial that once you make the decision that you've got to strike while the iron is hot. I mean, when you've made the decision that you want to move forward on your goals and your dreams, and there's something that you want to do, you better take action. You better take literally rapid, radical action. I mean, that's one of the things that I really got to commend my wife about. You know, I have a tendency that when I want to start something, I want everything to be perfect. You know, I want everything to be perfectly organized. I want to plan it out. And because of that, it delays the actual start. But you know what? Here's something I learned that, you know, my wife loves to say, and she got this from the woman who actually wrote the book, Lean In. And it's done is better than perfect. You know, done is better than perfect. You know, when I made the decision that I wanted to start this live stream, I literally this week had a conversation, met up with my buddy. His name is Adrian with Steady Image, an amazing videographer, does large scale events and so forth. And Adrian said, hey, man, this is what you got to do the live stream, Andy. And you know what? I said, listen, I am committing to doing this live stream literally right away. And so here I am, literally 2 days after meeting with him, and we're doing this live stream. We've got the conference call going on. We got the live stream going on. And you know what? This is just sort of next level, right? Most of you have had the opportunity to listen in on the conference call line, but now we're also doing it live stream. But listen, done is better than perfect. I could have been planning this out for another month or two, but I decided to move forward. And so some of you right now, there's something that you need to do, something that you've been wanting to move forward on. And I just want to remind you that you've got to strike while the iron is hot. You've got to be willing to move forward. You got to make some things happen. You've got to move right now. Let's move right now and make these things happen. So, Donald, we appreciate you, man. Thank you always for chiming in. And, of course, Lewis, true to form, we'll go ahead and take another comment or feedback. I'm literally holding my phone up so that the people who are listening in via live stream can sort of listen and hear all of you. I know we don't have necessarily the best quality because I have you on speakerphone, but I'm doing my best to sort of repeat the question a little bit and be able to give a little bit of insight. So for those of you, somebody else, if you have a comment or feedback who are on the live conference call line, go ahead and just jump right on in with your comment or your feedback from tonight's message.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
This is Mary. Yeah, I gave up some things. I gave up a job where I was making good money. And some people that I normally don't get to talk to, I don't talk to them anymore. And I feel like I've done the work. I wrote the book. I got my ideas, but it's a matter of me having a platform. And seem like I'm challenged with situations in my life, like, you know, when my mom's sick, my husband is big things going on in my life, and I'm challenged with things like that. And it's like I feel like, you know, I have a hard time going forward and doing the things I need to do. Get the platform to get myself out there and do things I need to do.
Absolutely. So Mary, I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate your transparency. And for those of you who maybe didn't hear Mary, here's what she's saying. She's saying she's she's felt like she's done the work, right? She's left some things behind, gotten rid of some, people that she had to leave behind, and some other things that she had to leave behind. But yet she's still feeling like, it's a little bit of a struggle to keep making things happen and build her platform as she would like to do. And she feels like life keeps throwing some things in the way. And let me just be honest with all of you. Understand that life never stops throwing things in your way. As a matter of fact, things are going to always happen. And guess what? If Mary's talking about building the platform, and Mary, as you build your platform, guess what? Even when you build your platform, there will still be more obstacles, and life will continue to throw some things your way. And so really the key is that in spite of the circumstances, in spite of the things that life throws at us, is to be able to keep the course, is to be able to keep focus. Focus, somebody said that focus is follow one course until successful. As a matter of fact, I'll never forget this, somebody said that, Stephen Covey, who wrote the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he said that you got to keep the main thing the main thing. And so when you're pursuing your goals and your dreams and you're trying to make some things happen like you are, Mary, that you have to understand that life is going to throw some distractions, that there's going to be some tests. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, you got to expect to be tested, that it is part of the process, that these things are going to come your way. But even in the midst of expecting to be tested, that you've got to find a way, somehow, some way, to continue to push forward. You've got to find a way to continue to stay focused. And so that really resorts back, oftentimes, I tell people, Mary, is trying to find something that's going to make it worth it for you to keep the course, to keep pushing forward in spite of the things that life is throwing your way, in spite of the different distractions, something that's going to make it worth it for you to continue to push forward. So in your case, you could build a platform for the other people who are listening in, whatever it is that you're looking to build. You got to find something that is going to allow you to stay focused and something that's going to make it worth it for you to continue to push through. And so, Mary, I'll say this to you, that understand that what you're experiencing, that you're not alone. So that's the first thing that I want you to know. And the second thing is, know that whatever it is that is coming your way, understand that you can handle it, and that nothing is going to come your way that you don't have the capacity to bear. That trust and believe that you have what it takes to get to the next level. And so I say to you that oftentimes you are so much closer than what you think. And so whatever challenges you're experiencing right now, I tend to find that the closer you are to the opportunity, the closer that you are to experiencing a breakthrough, the more that you're going to experience opposition. So just consider these things that are coming your way as just a sign, a sure sign that you're getting closer to this thing that you're looking to do. Continue to put in the work, continue to do what you got to do, and understand it does not happen overnight. Most overnight successes took 10, 15 years. And you know what? People said, you've seen people get interviewed. They said, somebody said I was an overnight success, they said. And they said, well, if I was an overnight success, trust and believe, it was a very long night, because those overnight successes a lot of times take over 10 years. So just continue to do the work. Mary, I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being transparent. And thank you for allowing to share this with everybody else and allowing me to provide some feedback. Thank you, Mary. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for being part of the Show Up for Your Life motivational movement.
Thank you so much for having this call of like-minded people, so I can have someone positive and be in a positive atmosphere where I feel comfortable to share my story.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you. Thank you so much. Please join us again. Absolutely. So if somebody else has a comment or feedback, just go ahead and press *6 to unmute your line. And so, of course, I want to also remind everybody who is here joining us on the conference call line that you can post your comments and your feedback in our Facebook group. And of course, if you're wondering, well, how do I get to that Facebook group? You can get there by simply typing showupgroup.com, showupgroup.com. And so I know there's so many of you that are putting your comments and your feedback in the Facebook group. I'm going to go ahead and press the refresh button so I could go ahead and give you a shout out right here live. Christine Wright says, you need to leave behind my comfort zone and I need to leave behind fear. Listen, Christine, listen, I can tell you this, all of us need to leave behind that comfort zone. Yes, that's why Brian Tracy calls the comfort zone your danger zone, because nothing significant happens there. Donald said, doing is better than perfect. As a matter of fact, Donald, actually it is done is better than perfect. This is the time right now to absolutely get it done. And so let's use this time to get some things done. Let's get these goals done. Let's make these things happen. Put your comments and your feedback in showupgroup.com. Darren Smith always likes to share a quote with us. He shared a quote. He said, "Liberty is being free from the things we don't like in order to be slaves of the things we do like." And so let me tell you, there's some of us that we have been slaves to a bunch of things that we don't want to do. And so many of us are showing up to jobs that we really don't want to do. We are in relationships, and I'm not talking about marriages, but we're in relationships that we know that are toxic, that we really need to move forward from, but we continue to hold on to them because those relationships are comfortable to us or they've been around. But listen, you've got to get to another place, another level right now, and this is the time to do it. And so trust and believe that those things that you've been holding on tightly for, this is the time that you've got to let go. Sherry Jacob said, "My challenge is starting and then following through until the end." Trust and believe, Sherry, that this is a challenge that many of us have. And so what we've got to do is we've got to find a way to become focused. You got to write those goals down. You got to focus on them every single day. And remember, keep the main thing the main thing. There's going to be a lot of shiny objects out there. There's going to be a lot of things to try to distract you, but you got to stay focused and make those things happen. Chantel said, "Leaving behind the toxic people in my phone book that have been there for way too long." Listen, Chantel, we are with you. There are some people that you need to pull out that phone right now and literally just start pressing the delete button. You know who they are. You know who those people are. They're taking up your time. They are toxic. They are negative. They're seriously not serious. And if you know who those people are, trust and believe, they don't need to be in your phone. Get them off your phone. Take them out. Delete. Goodbye. No offense. Just let them know I got someplace to go, and where I'm going, you can't come. And so this is the time that we literally just need to go our separate ways. And so Bobby Foxworth said, "I am ready." Bobby, yes, indeed, you're ready. I hope you're ready. And I hope everybody else who's been tuning in right now that they're ready as well. Desma said, "Amazing call tonight. I'm so glad my great friend reminded me." And of course, we are also very happy that you joined us, Desma. And of course, for those of you who are tuning in live right now, you can go to showupgroup.com. Of course, when you go there, you can request to join the group. I'll be more than happy to go ahead and allow you to come into the group, and it'll be right there that you can go ahead and post your comments and your feedback. Of course, I can't wait to see your comments and your feedback. Lewis, right before we go ahead and end the conference call version of this live stream that's going on, let's go ahead and take another comment from another caller. If anybody has feedback or comment, just go ahead and jump on right in. I got you on speakerphone right now, so hopefully people who are listening in on the live stream can go ahead and hear your comment or your feedback. So go ahead and press *6 to unmute your line.
Hey, Andy, this is Sherry in Charlotte.
Hey, Sherry, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing excellent.
I really like tonight's call. And another point I was thinking of was leaving behind proving yourself to people. Sometimes we are like people pleasing. And sometimes the person isn't even alive anymore. And they're trying to please, what mom wanted you to be or what dad wanted you to be, or somebody else's standards. So I was just thinking of one of the things you need to leave behind is pleasing other people.
Absolutely. And so, Sherry, that is a powerful point. And just in case anybody who's on the live stream couldn't hear, she's talking about that one of the difficult things to leave behind sometimes is just trying to please other people. And so, Sherry, one of the things that I love when I've heard this is that, the only person that you should attempt to be better than is yourself. And it's who you were yesterday. And so most of us, unfortunately, we go through one of these things where we're trying to please everybody. As a matter of fact, I think there's like a Bill Cosby quote where he says that, he says, I don't know necessarily what the secret to happiness is, but he says, I know what the secret of unhappiness is. He said, the secret of unhappiness is trying to please everybody. All right. And so, listen, if you want to be unhappy, try to go through your entire life trying to please other people. If you want to be unhappy, go through your life literally trying to do the things that everybody else has prescribed for you. And so if we come to that point where we want to create a shift and a change in our lives, then listen, trust and believe that we have to get to that point in which we decide that, the only person I need to be better of is myself, and the only person I need to please is myself. And so your goal should be the best version of you every single day. Your goal should be to be better than you were yesterday. Take yourself to that next level and stop trying to please other people, because to be quite frank with you, number one, it's most of the time you're never going to be able to please them, and it's a sure way to live a very miserable life. So Sherry, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for actually sharing that. I appreciate you for sharing that comment. And of course, once again, I want to share a couple of things for those of you who are on the conference call line and for those of you in the live stream as we go ahead and wrap it up. Let me remind you, if you haven't already done so, I want you to connect with me officially through the Show Up for Your Life Motivational Movement. You can simply go to showupforyourlife.com. When you go there, you're going to put in your name and your email address. It's going to allow me to send you an instant motivational message, continue to send you powerful messages and things that I believe is going to allow you to show up in your personal life and also show up in your business. And also, of course, for those of you who want to leave your comments and your feedback and you want to connect, go ahead and join the private Facebook group. You can go to showupgroup.com. That'll direct you straight to our private Facebook group, so you don't have to go around looking for it. And when you get there, just simply send us a request to join the group. We'll be more than happy to let you in there. Go ahead and leave your comments and your feedback and any value that you receive from this message. And of course, last but not least, I want to invite all of you to join me in beautiful sunny California for the Show Up 2015 live event. We're going to come together. Lives are going to be transformed July 10th and 11th. You can learn more about the event by going to showup2015.com, showup2015.com. You'll also be able to register. We are going to have a spectacular time. You are going to have your life transformed. I mean, if you've been feeling stuck and you want to get to the next level, if you've been trying to figure out how to create a little more income, if you've been trying to scale your business and get it to the next level, we've got something in there for all of you. But most importantly, this is a community of like-minded individuals, and we're going to equip you with some amazing speakers to really, truly help you to take your life to the next level. Listen, and if you've had some challenges and you've been looking at how to make a comeback, listen, we are going to be able to position you and really share with you on how to make a comeback, how to push yourself forward. You know, Willie Jolly said that a setback is a setup for a comeback. And some of you, this is your time. This is the time right now for you to literally make a comeback. So let me just tell you, I'm excited. I'm so grateful. I thank all of you who have joined me live on the conference call line. Lewis, I'm going to allow you to go ahead and bid everybody a farewell on the conference call line, Lewis, as I go ahead and say goodbye to everybody who's tuning in right now via the live stream right here on live stream via YouTube. And so, Lewis, I appreciate you. Lewis Moria, the comeback expert. I thank you for hosting the Show Up for Your Life Motivational Movement. Lewis, go ahead and of course, we're going to go ahead and say good evening to everybody and say goodbye to everybody who's on the conference call line. And for those of you who are here via live stream, of course, let me go ahead and share a couple more things with all of you. And so let me say this. I am excited. This is the very first Show Up for Your Life motivational live stream. I am so happy that you chose to go ahead and join us for this live stream. We're so excited that you joined us. This is not going to be a one-time event. This is going to be ongoing, and stay tuned, because this is going to be something amazing. And so hopefully, if you got value from this message tonight, what I would love for you to do absolutely is go ahead right after this live stream is done. This message is going to be available. This message is going to be available, and you can go ahead and share the message right away. Share it with your friends and your family and people that you believe that are going to be able to be impacted from this. I want to make sure you also connect with me. You're going to go to showupforyourlife.com. You're going to put in your name and your email address. That's going to allow us to stay connected. You can join the private Facebook group. Go to showupgroup.com. And of course, you can join us for the event at showup2015.com. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. This is Andy Henriquez. I just want to thank you so very much for having participated in the very first Show Up for Your Life live stream. I truly enjoyed my time with you, and I can't wait to connect with all of you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time right now, wherever you are, whatever part of the world. I thank you, and I'm so grateful that we